Hello, let's talk about authentication and authorization. These two topics can be really similar and could be misunderstanding. So, authentication in Chinese we call 验证. It is about who you are or who are you. It's like something like a ID. Authorization is for what are you allowed to do. This is usually for access a resources. So for example, the authentication can be when you log in a website, you need to type the username and the password. And then this know who you are, and then this is authentication process. And for authorization, sometimes for user level, sometimes let's say you go to a third party website and you want allow login with your Google account, and then you can give them specific permission. Let's say they can only access your address, and then this is so-called authorization, but it also can be used for the API level. And this is a general idea, and there are several use cases for them. So for authentication, it can be you can use ID token, and for ID token the format you can use JWT Java Web token, and you can also use cookie plus session. And for authorization, it's usually as access token. It can be based on the OAuth format. Let's give you an easy example. So for access token, it can be more like the room card when you check into a hotel. It's not necessary to know your personal information. So you go to the check-in desk and provide, they know they check some credentials, and then they give you this access token to access that specific room. And we don't in this room card, it don't need your name, your passport number in there. It's specific to access this room. And let's talk about the cookie and session. The cookie and session is popular when we log into a website like this case. And because currently most of the communication between in the internet based on the HTTP protocol, and HTTP protocol is a stateless protocol, which means, let's say there are several requests and response, but because HTTP is stateless, so we don't know, once you logged in, we don't know you still log in or not. But then there is method can solve this. There is cookie plus session. So cookie is kind of storage in your web browser in the client side. You can storage your session ID in the client in your web browser, and then once you send a request, the server will generate a session and maybe with also other information. But as you can see, usually even if we use cookie plus session, you need provide the whole information. But the token is something different. Token is more like a temporate passport. So you don't, once you got this token, you don't need to retap this password, the original password again. And also token can, for the access token, it can give you a limited access to some specific data. And finally, let's talk about the OAuth, because if we use the ID token, it can be based on the OAuth, so-called OpenID. So OAuth is more like let's see, there's a client, and in websites, let's say yelp.com. Do you want login with your Google account? There's this button, and then first, step 1, you go to the authorization server. And this authorization server is from Google, something like accounts.google.com. And then you type your email and password, and then they will ask the user, ask the resource, so-called resource owner or the user, do you want to allow them to access maybe your profile or your address or maybe account? And if you allow them, then in the yelp.com, that if we allowed, then we'll back to the redirect URL, then this will exchange the access token, and then it will talk about the Google for the resource. Like if you allowed this Yelp to access your account and your profile, then they will communicate with each other. Also, this one will get the access token from Google. That's it for the basic introduction for the authentication and authorization.